Right, this is the really short Audley Harrison, David Haye afterthought, and yeah, people may have seen, not many of you will have seen, I suspect, my pre-fight assessment, which is that Audley Harrison, for a man of his size, is an incredibly cowardly, timid individual with next to no boxing ability. He's been beaten by more or less a load of bums. I predicted it would be an early round KO for Haye. Even I didn't think that Audley Harrison was going to be that bad. I mean, he's there and he's saying, I've been running up mountains, and he's talking all the talk and saying, it's going to be my redemption, my destiny, and all the rest of it. But anybody who knew boxing, in Britain anyway, because there's no reason anyone else would ever have heard of Audley Harrison, knows that Audley Harrison is just the most unsuitable individual to put in a prize fighting boxing context you could possibly imagine. I mean, he's 6'5" or whatever he is, and he's massive. He's 18.5 stone, but the guy is just scared. You see pictures of Harrison getting hit by Haye during the fight, and he's there with his hands like that. They're not even close. He's not even got a close guard to stop shots. He stood there with his arms literally like that. I mean, nobody's ever told the man to, close his guard or whatever. He's got zero ability. So, I thought the fight, might be a little bit more competitive than it was, but anybody who ever thought Harrison was going to win or even be remotely competitive was dreaming, frankly. I mean, the fight ultimately was a bit of a disappointment. But if you watch back the third round and you see, about a minute into the third round, Haye hits in the middle of the ring Harrison with a big right hand, a big right hand. And from that moment, Audley is, he's more or less gone. I mean, he's thinking, my God, this guy's power is just about to take me out. And then he's backing off and backing off and backing off. With Haye, the thing is, his shots are so quick, when you're there live, you can hardly even see them because they're that fast. So he hits him with a massive right hand in the middle of the ring, and then Audley's backing off, and he goes to the left-hand side, if you watch it on YouTube, onto the ropes. And then Haye is there waiting for him. Audley goes to throw half a punch, and Haye just rips a massive right hand into the side of his face. It's so quick, you hardly see it with Haye, and that's the thing. And Audley from that moment is completely gone. Haye clocks him a bit round his guard. He's going round his guard, he's hitting him right here over the ears and both sides of his head. Harrison tries to defend himself, and as soon as he does that, Haye's ripping uppercuts through the centre and chucking a few big right hands straight down the pipe, and it's game over. So yes, it was a bit disappointing, but the thing is with Haye, you've got to bear in mind, you've almost got to watch his fights in slow motion to see the shots that he throws, the power shots that he throws and lands, and you need somebody in there with Haye with a huge chin. You need like a Vitaly Klitschko. And Ruiz had a great chin. He was reputed for having a great chin. I mean, the only person who ever really knocked him out was Tua, and he hit him with a flush shot right on the point of his jaw. It twisted his head like that with absolute maximum power in the first round and took him out. But Ruiz had a great chin, and Haye repeatedly put him down. So I mean, to have a competitive fight with David Haye at heavyweight, even weighing like 15.5 stone and stuff, or 15 stone as he was with this, I hope he'll go up a bit in weight. You need somebody there with a top 3-4 chin, and I'm just thinking out loud about what the kind of fighters are that could take. I mean, a Briggs could take some punishment off him, but he's not gonna compete with Haye for speed, so he'd be smoked. Vitaly can compete with anybody in that way. Vlad, I'm not sure about Vlad. I think if Haye lands a couple of really clean, crisp shots on him, I think he'll be in serious trouble, because Haye punches much harder than you think he does, and some of the shots you just don't even see because they're that fast. That's where he gets his power from. He's so fast. As a fight, the Harrison Haye fight was always going to be a joke. I mean, Audley made it more of a joke than it should have been, possibly. But that fight was never ever going to be, a match among equals. Let's talk about Audley getting his purse sort of withheld. I think that's a bit harsh, really. He's just Audley Harrison. Everybody knew going into the fight that he was, good for nothing, more or less. But the guy should never ever be in, even a mildly competitive world championship fight. I mean, that's not the place for him. He's just not a fighter. David Haye is a fighter. There's nobody for Haye to fight now, apart from, in my view, the Klitschko's. I mean, he'll blast Adamek out of there. Adamek's not quick. He's not powerful enough to keep Haye off him. Talking about Areola or whatever. I mean, he might be a punching bag for a bit longer, but Haye will still smoke him. Solis in shape is interesting potentially, but Solis isn't in shape right now, so he can't. He probably won't be able to hit Haye because Haye's reflexes are that fast. As soon as you go to hit him, he's half a step backwards, and that's what he's relying on, and being the weight he's at. So. Who else do people talk about Haye fighting? Chambers, Eddie Chambers. Chambers is a blown-up cruiserweight, and he never had any power really at cruiser. So he's not going to keep Haye off him. There's no chance of that. Talking about Dennis Boistov or whatever he is, the Russian guy, that would be a really good competitive fight. But those guys are both sort of name contenders, so they're not going to fight each other. Povetkin is not going to fight Haye because there's nothing in it for him. He's just going to get potentially beat without ever getting to fight for a legit belt. So who is there? Ibragimov or somebody like that, but Ibragimov when you get outpointed by Chambers, so he's no good. Because Chambers ain't worth anything. He ain't worth a lick, as they say in the States. So David Haye has to fight a Klitschko now. He might have to fight Chagayev as his mandatory, but Chagayev's got his issues with his hepatitis, so Chagayev probably wouldn't even get licensed in the UK. So unless Haye chooses to accept that fight as his mandatory, then that's probably not going to happen. I mean, Haye's not going to go to Germany to defend his belt. So, what is there, a Valiev rematch? Nobody's even going to watch that. Nobody's going to pay for it. It's not going to be box office. So that's just step aside money. Haye's going to make nothing off of that. So Haye is he talks about the Klitschko's having nowhere else to go, but Haye is at a complete dead end. I mean, he can maybe fight Chagayev, irrespective of the licensing thing, but I mean, that's dead end. Anybody who knows boxing knows he's going to smoke Adamek, and there just literally is nobody else. I mean, nobody I can think of anyway. But if you think otherwise, let me know your thoughts. All right. So we've moved on a little bit from a post-fight to a sort of who the hell is out there at heavyweight level to have a competitive fight with, and I see the Klitschko's and Haye moving inevitably towards one another, because there's just nobody else out there for any of them to fight anymore. So we want to see that fight. Personally, I'd rather see Vitaly, because I want to see what happens when Haye hits a genuine big heavyweight with a granite chin with some serious dynamite, because that's what he's got, and we'll see whether or not somebody can stand up to him. Love to see that happen, really. All right, hope you've enjoyed. Cheers.